Hello, everybody. Welcome to another review. It is 10:17 p.m. Came out of theater not too long ago after watching A Haunting in Venice that was directed by Kenneth Branagh. And as per usual, be spoiler free. And if you happen to like the content of this channel, hit the subscribe button below, provide a like or a comment if you want to, and spread the word to your friends and family. And without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss the topic of this film. I've always been very fascinated with the concept of a murder mystery combined with detective noir and horror. You take those unique elements within one another and combine them into a unique and interesting story. Right then and there, I am automatically sold on whatever it is that the character development is going to provide as far as me being a viewer is concerned. Agatha Christie's character, the eccentric detective Hercule Poirot, portrayed by Kenneth Branagh, returns from after the murder on the Orient Express, the death on the Nile. Within this film, he is called upon after experiencing a certain existential crisis. He is being accosted by random strangers in an attempt to per, more or less reinvigorate his passion for detective work and explain away the impossible, if you will. A, a haunting that is created by the sense of a seance automatically is provides him with this need to be able to debunk what's going on. And needless to say, when it comes to discussions and debates, one of my favorite things to do is being able to analyze and debunk certain theories or provide facts that will allow you to, that will allows myself personally to understand exactly how a certain experiment has been allowed to manifest. So within this film, I knew there was something within me that was really tugging at my subconscious mind that basically, in a sense, informed me that this was a film that I was very much going to enjoy. Having said that, Kenneth Branagh is one of my favorite actors and filmmakers, and one of my first experiences with him was watching him in certain stage play adaptations of Shakespeare with Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, and of course he directed the first Thor film. So he's been around the block, and he's often created such memorable work. So I don't have anything negative to say about him. But I've always, as I mentioned, enjoyed the likes of Hercule Poirot and Sherlock Holmes, and even the Knives Out films. So one of my as I mentioned before, horror is one of my main favorite genres. And the beautiful thing about this film, aside from the unique camera work that Kenneth Branagh utilized in order to create this true sense of claustrophobic and intensity and suspense, is really playing with the imagination of the viewer in terms of presenting the fact of what you don't see is far more scary than what you do see, and often what you don't hear is scarier than what you do hear, and it's vice versa type of situation where it automatically has you on the edge of your seat. And the fact that Hercule Poirot is this logical intellectual genius that is attempting to debunk what's happening before his very eyes, and then also experiences certain dynamics that he cannot explain, but yet still finding a way to still finding a way in and of himself to more or less not admit that he's wrong, but at the same time present it in a manner that allows you to think outside the box as well. And the acting for the acting overall is absolutely marvelous. I really love the dialogue that was written and how the characters interacted with one another. Kenneth Branagh and Tina Fey had obvious chemistry with one another, and the dialogue, the banter is very rapid and intellectual and fun at the same time. It is in a way it really gives you the sense of these actors and actresses really enjoying the presence of one another and feeding off the chemistry. Michelle Yeoh, for the brief amount of screen time that she has, does an amazing job as well. Now, when it comes to A Haunting in Venice, most people, when they see the poster or even the trailer, they're most likely going to be thinking that is your typical jump scare factor. You see a bunch of ghosts and creatures and monsters and demons. It doesn't necessarily. It's not about that at all. It's all about examining the evidence, and it's not all about now trying to find the suspect, if you will. It is truly about explaining away certain phenomena that really there are a lot of individuals in this world that will utilize their intelligence in an attempt to debunk or even not even want to admit that even the impossible is possible. And I loved how this film managed to tackle that. The only thing that I will say that I found myself disappointed with was the fact that it could have been, I would have preferred for it to be longer and more in depth with his examinations of Hercule Poirot displaying his intelligence. Uh, and the horror could have been amped up even more, because there's a lot of moments where it does get creepy and frightening, and the fact that you are for me personally, as a viewer, you are stuck in this Italian ancient building with them that is filled with spirits, that is filled with unexplainable phenomena that you just simply find yourself even more disturbed. There's a lot of creepy imagery in here, and would have preferred if Kenneth Branagh actually focused more and honed in on the horror, making more or less a combination of, say, a detective mystery, a murder mystery, combined with Silent Hill, if you will. Because I think if he had did that, I would have given this overall presentation a 10 out of 10. But other than that, I really enjoyed the acting in it, the writing, the atmosphere, and the overall intellectual direction as far as making the viewer think outside the box. And I highly recommend it. I had a great time with it. It's not. It's going to be geared more to an older audience, so I imagine that more individuals that are in the 50s or 60s range would be the ones that are interested in this film. But I will say that even those who are younger will most likely find some fascination with this presentation as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give A Haunting in Venice about an 8 out of 10, a 2 thumbs up. I highly recommend it. It's not too long and it's not too short either. It's the perfect length. I just would have wished that it dived in more into the haunting aspect and channeled more of Hercule Poirot's intellect with explaining away the hauntings, if you will. But other than that, I highly recommended it. I had fun with it, and I cannot wait to see exactly what Kenneth Branagh is going to do in the future with his next cinematic presentations. That is my review of A Haunting in Venice. I hope you all enjoyed it. My next review, I'm not exactly sure what it will be, but be on the lookout for it. Take care, and peace out.